Kamen Rider Zi-O.
Hey YouTube, Kamen Rider here. Welcome to my review of Kamen Rider Zi-O episode 2. This one's a smidge later than usual. It's kind of funny because last week I did episode 1 earlier than usual because it was the premiere, but then this week things just kind of got delayed. But anyway, this was kind of like, I guess you could say, the Build tribute episode. I mean, it started last week, but, you know, this was like the main one because they basically cameoed. And yeah, this was an episode. It was weird. Like, I enjoyed parts of it. Right now, we're only 2 episodes in, so the day is young on this. So it's hard to say, you know, make huge impressions about the series. But right now, based on this episode, it reminds me a lot of Decade in terms of my enjoyment level, especially later on once I realized that mysteries weren't going to be paying off. And I'm not saying they won't in this, but I'm just saying that sort of feeling of, like, I'm enjoying it, there's parts I really like, concepts, just visual things, you know, just like show things that I like, but it's also kind of confusing to the degree where you kind of just have to be like, okay, what the hell, who cares? Even though I care. It's weird. Maybe it's just me, but I've heard some mixed reactions, but it was just weirdly confusing, I felt. Like, not in a way like where Build or even X-Aid started off in the early episodes and you kind of had questions and you were like, not confused, but intrigued. And this I was just like, what? Like, I wasn't sure, I don't remember what Woz did to Build other than give that dude the watch that would make Build disappear from history. And so when he gave that guy the watch, was the another Build they were fighting in the present? Like, did he just stay alive through all that time into the future, but it was like different people? It was like confusing. And then you have Sento and Ryuga not knowing who they are for like a split second when he goes to visit them in the present, and then they suddenly remember because Gates magically destroys another Build for the 3rd, 4th time. I didn't understand. And then when he's like, oh, I understand, I remember. It did kind of have a classic, like, no straight lines, time travel-y bit where the reason he got the watches to give to himself and Gates were because he gave them to Build. Like, Build and Ryuga gave Zi-O the watches because he gave them the watches. It's a classic time loop. I did kind of like that because I'm into stuff like that, but it was still weird. And then for whatever reason at the end, after they defeated everything, you have Build. Sento thinking that he's Kasaragi I felt like it was just there for like a reference to what the TV show did. It was really weird. Like, I don't know. It was like unnecessarily confusing. Like, but then they're like, oh, but Build still disappeared from history? I don't know. Like, it's just weird. Again, I don't know. I feel like I could just sit here baffled. Like, and you know, sometimes that comes with the territory with stuff like this, both with Rider when they do crossover stories and time travel stories, but this was just like episode 2. I was like, what? Like, I expected at least to be a little bit into it. But, you know, like I said, it still is early, so it'd be nice if over the next episodes, however long it would take, to smooth things out a little bit. Because I know it's not going to be perfect. Very rarely in Toku series are stories like this perfect. But I'd like it to be smoothed out a little bit. Maybe it was just me. I just wasn't following it. Maybe I need to rewatch it. But it was strange. Stuff I did like is I did like seeing Sento and Ryuga, a little bit of their banter. I did like the little touch of another Build saying, oh, I'm Build and you're Claws, we're a best match, like a reference to the finale, which was neat. I like, and I'm hoping that throughout the cameos we get little nods to sort of specific references to it, which was neat. We got to see him get the Build armor, which was cool to see. I really like the way that works. I like the way the sounds work for it and the way that the armor does like the pose of the rider before he goes into it. I thought that was cool. We got, like, at the very end, you have Gates and What's-Her-Face moving in with him to sort of keep an eye on him. Sort of basically setting up and, like, solidifying the stuff we went to last week, which is basically like, oh, does the boy need to become the man, you know, of Zi-O, you know, if it even is him. Again, I hope that that future version is him. Obviously, we want to stop that, but even though it could potentially make for a good twist, I think it takes away from a lot of what makes the series and the character interesting if we find out Oma Zi-O in the future isn't him. But yeah, this was an episode. For the sake of my sanity, until we get more information, more episodes, I'm just going to say that this whole world is just some sort of alternate world where all the Rider series take place, where they're basically the same characters but like a little bit different, and they take place in the same world, just because it's already confusing enough, and I don't know, it's just weird. If you have anything to add to that, you know, that might clarify some things, let me know in the comments. But overall, I'd give this episode a 6.5. It was okay, it was enjoyable, there were some parts I really liked, but it was just super confusing for episode 2 for me. But I mean, I am the dumbest boy in school, but still. Anyway, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and of course, don't forget to climb the steps and ring that bell so you get the notification for all my videos. Kamen Rider, signing out.